Oh, good. It's raining again. Oh, it's been a rough week. I am beginning to wonder if maybe the strategies that I used to keep myself on track with my writing goals in my 20s, maybe they're not going to work the same as in my 50s now that I have a ton more responsibilities. So I think I need something different. I need a new plan. Okay, guys, I decided to come in out of the storm. It's really coming down out there, which I guess is great because we need the rain for the pastures and the jump fields. But it does make for more challenging times to ride. I did get the ride in, so we'll go over that after I just talk for a couple minutes. I just want to let you know about something new that I'm going to try. So this week was so challenging. There were so many things that came up in addition to all the normal stuff that make sticking to my plan challenging. So I don't know if you've ever heard of a spinal stroke in dogs, but unfortunately now I am familiar with them because last Sunday, my dog, he had been doing normal dog things out in the pastures like he does every day. And then he came in, took a nap, and when he got up to go back out, he couldn't get up. He couldn't stand. He couldn't use any of his legs. So it was really scary. We rushed him to the emergency vet. They sent us to the university, which is close to an hour away. And they ended up keeping him there for a couple of nights, and he still was paralyzed. But after the MRI, they decided that it was this thing, a spinal stroke. So I'll leave you to look that up if you're interested. You can Google it. But anyway, fortunately, he he came home after 2 days at the hospital and still really couldn't walk. We had to carry him up and down the stairs. Um, an 80-pound dog up and down the stairs. So thankfully, he is recovering a lot faster than what the vets anticipated. So for the most part, he is able to do most of his normal things. He still kind of stumbles a little bit, but thank God he's doing better. So that added a lot of stress and time that I didn't have to the events of the week. And then a couple days later, we had a super strong windstorm, and some of the shingles flew off of our roof. So we had to have the roofer out to fix that. And now we're getting a new roof. So just challenge after challenge. And I made this channel to hold myself accountable so that I could achieve my riding goals and go to my first event with my young off the track thoroughbred by January. But so far, nothing is working out as planned, and I have been failing completely at the adult amateur project. So I've come up with something new, and I have decided to make a little workbook that I'm going to use, and I will definitely share it with you guys. It'll be in the description down below. There'll be a link to click on, and it's free. And I don't know if anyone else is interested. I mean, honestly, I don't even have very many viewers, so it's possible that nobody does it. But I'm going to do it, and I would love if you join me too, especially if you're an adult amateur that understands the struggles that come along with all of it. But anyway, I'll link it down below. And basically, it's the 30-day Ride Anyway challenge. And I made a little workbook to go along with it that has some areas where you can kind of reflect on why you're doing it, what your actual plan is. So you can modify it to decide how many days a week you're going to ride, or how many days during the 30-day challenge you're going to ride, what days you're going to ride. Short rides count. And if groundwork is part of your system, then groundwork counts as a training session. So I have included an area to reflect on what your goals are, what steps you're going to take in the next 30 days to get you closer to your goals. And then there's also a sheet that I will try to link separately. And it is a sheet that you can take with you to the barn every day. And some of the, well, there are questions that you can ask yourself about what your intentions are for that ride, kind of how you're feeling before the ride, how the ride went, what you did during the ride, and then how you feel after the ride, as well as what you want to work on for the next ride. So you can print that page out if you want and take it to the barn with you every time so that you can fill out a new sheet. And then at the end of the workbook, there's a section on why you didn't ride. So it's just something to think about, like, what are the things that keep you from going to the barn and getting your rides in or your training sessions? And is there a pattern of what keeps you from doing it? Are you holding yourself back? Are you making excuses like I know I sometimes do? Without keeping in mind that in order to reach those big goals, all of the little steps count. So this is just designed, as is the YouTube channel, the Adult Amateur Project, is to offer some consistency, mostly on my part, but I would love to have others join in, and maybe we can keep each other accountable. But are you making excuses for why you didn't ride? Or is it just truly every day is like an emergency and you just can't do it? And if you can make a schedule and maybe, like, I'm going to ride every day at 5 p.m. or whatever time works for you. I'm just saying that, if you put it in your calendar as an actual appointment that you have to make, will that help you? Or will you be able to talk yourself out of it if you're too tired and lazy? So anyway, I'm hoping that I can stick with it. I'm going to simplify my monthly goals a little bit more so that they're more realistic than what I had originally planned. Because, yeah, like I said at the beginning, I'm not in my 20s anymore, and nothing that I did in my 20s works the same way when I try it in my 50s. So, time for a reset. So, I'm going to make it a little more realistic for all of the other things I have in my life. And then in the workbook, there are different areas for reflection, like how your week went, and an end of the challenge reflection. So there are places in the workbook, and like I said, it's really simple. I think it's only 6 pages long. But the one worksheet that you can take to the barn, you can just, copy that off every day and start fresh. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, that I'm going to be following that, and I'm going to offer it to you guys down below in case you want to give it a shot. So I did manage to get a ride in today, and I will tell you that I said that there's a storm coming, and so the winds are probably about 45 miles an hour right now, and it's warm now, but we're supposed to have thunderstorms and wind and snow tonight. So I think it's like 60 something right now, and then it's going to snow tonight, and the high tomorrow is going to be in the low 20s. So there's a big change coming. So I have to just say that I was definitely proud of Polo for being such a good baby thoroughbred. I mean, he's about to turn 4 in a couple weeks, but he's just a champ. He was I'll show you some of the lunging that we did at the beginning so you can see he was feeling a little fresh. And, you know, they live outside 24/7, so he burns off most of his energy. But today is particularly, I wouldn't blame him for being fresh today. It's a little crazy out there. And I'm proud of myself because I bucked up and got on despite the fact that, you know, I'm getting old and he's a fresh baby thoroughbred. But I got on, I did it. So anyway, here's my ride, and I will close out at the end, I guess. Okay, so I thought that as I go back and rewatch the video of my ride, I would kind of look at the workbook and follow along and give you guys an idea of what is included. So one of the first questions is, how am I feeling before this ride? What's my energy, mood, stress level? So I was feeling pretty good. I was maybe a little bit nervous about how he was going to respond with the wind blowing so hard. But for some reason on him, he has never given me any indication that he's super anxious or really cares much about external things. So I was feeling pretty good, and mostly I just wanted to get it done because I truly have not ridden at all this week. So anyway, one of the next questions is, what is my intention for today's ride? Well, honestly, my intention was, like I said, just get it done and survive during the storm. And then some of the other questions are, what almost stopped me from riding today? Well, I consider not riding because I have been so exhausted and I just wasn't sure what he was going to be like. But luckily, I pushed through and, like I said, I got it done, and that was my intention. So there's a space in the workbook that says, what exercises or activities did I do? And obviously, I just went for a short ride. I did lunch him also before this, but the video I took of it was really horrible, and I couldn't even handle the motion of it. So I'm not going to include it, but maybe I'll add in a snapshot of part of when he jumped over the 3 canter poles. I'll see if I can add a snapshot of that. So that was kind of funny. But let's see. What went well today? Well, he was a good boy and he was listening for the most part. And he came back to me and he went forward when I asked. So, I mean, obviously, like, our rides right now are not very exciting and there's not really a whole lot to report. But overall, I think there were lots of things that went well today. Nothing really felt difficult. I would say that we still are struggling with our halt. If I take a feel of the reins, he obviously just wants to push through that as they're taught to do on the track. But he's definitely getting a little bit better at it. Baby steps. It's a tiny improvement. So let's see. One small win from today would definitely be that we did it and we survived. So basically the answers to all of these are going to be, we did it. Despite the weather and being a tiny bit nervous. The next question is, did the ride match my original intention? Why or why not? Yeah, it did. We got it done. What will I focus on during the next ride? We will definitely be doing more transitions And I think we need to start working on a canter. I've never actually even cantered this horse, and I've had him for almost a year. Don't ask me why. I don't really have a solid reason. Um, but I think next time that is something that we definitely need to get started with. And then anything else that I want to remember from this ride, probably just that he's a good boy and he listens even under not so ideal conditions. So that is basically a quick, very quick overview of what the pages I was talking about that you would print off and take to the barn. And then with the rest of the workbook, there are plenty of other questions to get you kind of in the right mindset to see, you know, how can you be more consistent? Why are you not always consistent? And I don't know. I went over the whole thing pretty well. So yeah, hopefully this will work for not only me, but for anybody else that wants to join along. So you can start at any point, but I would love to hear in the comments if you're trying it, and keep me posted on what rides you do, and just kind of if it's helping or if there's other things that you include in your day-to-day reflections to help keep you on track. I know that I'm not alone in wanting a written record of how things are going. I like to overthink and overanalyze and over reflect. So I guess this is a good tool for that. But really, it's just a simple tool. And I hope you'll check it out and keep me posted. And until next time, guys, I'll just let you finish watching my ride. Ride 1 complete. So, and then I will check in later and see how everyone's doing and show you my progress with my baby off the track thoroughbred. His birthday's coming up. I want to say it's March 22nd. So it's coming up next weekend. So we'll probably have to have a special birthday photo shoot for him, and I'll share that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have some great rides this week, and I hope you'll share your progress with me so we can keep each other accountable and figure everything out together. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.